Hi, welcome to Civil Discourse Now. I'm Mark Small.
I'm Paul Ogden.
We are shooting today at the Indianapolis Museum of Art in Indianapolis. Of course, it's in Indianapolis. This is...
Yeah, it would be kind of weird for it to be someplace else. Well, Indianapolis Museum of Art to be like in Louisville or something.
I know, something like that. Right now, the Indianapolis International Film Festival is going on. It's being held here. And we are pleased and honored to do it. We're doing a special edition today. This is July 24th.
I believe it is.
2012. Time is off. Anna Mastro is a film producer, director, and she has a film that's in the International Film Festival here, and it is, it's Bench Seat.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the film.
It is basically a musical about a young man trying to sort of break up with his girlfriend, and she doesn't want to let him. So it's basically a dark comedy. There's also a musical, but it's sort of a situation that like a lot of people have been in and have found interesting.
If people out there want to get a link so that they can order it or watch it, where would they go?
Right now, you kind of have to go to a film festival to see it, but it can be seen on, Ridley Scott has a competition called Your Film Festival. So if you go to YouTube and put in Your Film Festival or Google, it will take you to their site. The voting has closed, but we were one of 50 semifinalists in the world. And you can watch a short version of it on there.
That's cool.
A shorter version on there.
So is this your first film?
Yes.
Okay. And it's a 20-minute
Yeah,
film?
I direct mostly music videos and commercials. I'm based in Los Angeles, and this is my first sort of longer piece.
How do you break into it like that? I mean, when you're doing your own thing, you have to come up with your own money and buy the equipment or borrow the equipment and stuff.
Yeah, I had sort of worked in the industry as a producer and in commercials and stuff for a while. Many years, and I wanted to make this musical, and I just sort of went around and talked a bunch of people into thinking it was a cool project to do for a couple of days, and we actually raised money on Kickstarter.com, which is... Do you guys know what that is?
No. Tell us what it is.
It's a website where you can put up a project and a description or a video, and you can sort of do different levels. Like if you donate $5, we'll send you a soundtrack. If you donate $20, we'll send you a poster. And you can do like different levels of prizes so people feel like they're getting something for their donation.
Okay.
And basically what happens, you set a goal. And then if you don't reach your funding goal by the time you've allotted, you don't get any of the money. They don't charge anyone's card. But if you make your goal or over, they charge the card, they take 3 or 4%, and they send you the money through Amazon.
Interesting.
And so that was...
Never heard of such a thing.
So
that's how we paid for this. So I emailed, 300 people every day and said, please donate $5 to my short. And you'll see when you see it, it has a really like high production value because all the money we raise is basically like in the costumes and how we fed people and minimal things we paid for stage or like tape stock. Like
where'd you shoot it?
We shot it on stage in LA for 3 days, and then we shot sort of like a half of one of the days at an ice cream shop down the street on Ventura Boulevard. And then we had little pickups with like a consumer sort of Canon camera, just like a little hour of footage that we went out and shot.
The name of the show is Bench Seat. Now, why did you pick that name?
Basically, the writer, who's a playwright and also a feature director and writer, that was the name of the piece that he came up with. I had asked him for a script, and I had the script that I think would make an awesome little musical, and it was called Bench Seat. It was basically something that took place in an old car, an old, like a 65, style car that had a bench across instead of 2 separate seats.
All right.
And so that's kind of what it refers to. And you'll see when you see it, like a lot of it takes place in this one car.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you found the actors, I assume, in Los Angeles. There's probably no shortage there.
There's no shortage, but it was very hard to find people of this age, so they're like early 20s, that can sing and dance and act, and are willing to do all three for free.
That's a
Well,
tough
Mark,
combination.
you can sing and dance. You're not in your 20s, but
Yeah, so we found her. She's on a TV show on ABC Family. Are you guys familiar with that
Yes.
network? So she's on a show. She was on a show. I think it's over now, called Make It or Break It, and she was like the bad gymnastics one. She was like the villain, and I always thought she was really good. And my friend had directed some episodes of the show and told me she could actually sing too. And I was like, I would like to meet her. And so he asked her if she would be into it, and she said yes, and we met. And then with him, I had heard about him in Spring Awakening on Broadway, and I heard that he was living in LA now and like looking for projects, and I just called his agent at his agency and said, well, I know you don't know me, just look at this script, will you listen to this music, would he do this? And she called back the next day and she said yes.
wow.
So it took 3 days of shooting?
Yeah, we shot it in 3 days. And you'll see it's like about almost 20 minutes long, and it's a lot for 3 days, I think.
How much did you? I'm trying to think of how much did you edit? How many takes did you have to do of different things?
I'm not sure at this point how many takes we did. We had a really limited amount of time. We had people working for free, so we couldn't really go past a 12-hour day. It would just be super mean, and I can't do it. So we did as many takes as we absolutely needed, but it was very well edited. My editor is like amazing. She found every bit of mistake and gold, and and just made it feel seamless. So I think it's a real interesting challenge.
Of course, we're in a different time and different age. It's not really film that you shoot with,
It's not
right?
film that we shoot with. We actually shot this on HD cam, which to me is also a very extinct kind of format at this point.
It's kind of like that camera that we're shooting from right now.
No, this is a much better camera. It's actually a tape that they put in the cameras. A lot of the festivals and theaters will project off these tapes, so people believe to like shoot on that format, to go back to that format when you're done with the process is a really good way to preserve the look. Having said that, the tapes are incredibly expensive. I think they're like $100 each. And then to rent even decks to transfer the footage is like almost $500 a day. So I would never do it again. A lot of times we'll shoot on these, HDV or like an Alexa or Red camera, which is the same thing. It's like a card. It's like a little digital magazine you stick in your computer, footage is downloaded, and you're done with it. Like that would have been so much better. But because Panavision granted us a free camera and a package, we did it this way, which in retrospect I'll never ever do again. But it looked really good. It was fine, but it was just pricey.
You have to realize sometimes things that are cheap turn out to be really expensive, and free turns out to be the most expensive of all.
Sometimes, yeah. I think if we had rented a camera, like if we couldn't have found another kind of camera that was free, then it probably would have evened out. So it's fine, but yeah, I'm sure there was a better way to do it. But it looks good.
What are you doing in terms of your next project? Do you always have a project in your mind or keeping notes?
Yeah, I do. This short was awesome for me. It got me in front of a lot of sort of feature producers and people with good material and projects, and there's a lot of projects that I'm sort of meeting on, and there's a project here with some Indianapolis filmmakers actually that we're talking about doing and trying to figure out if we can film here. So we're working on that and a couple other things, but they're all sort of feature-length movies, meaning like a 90 and above minute movie instead of like something you'd see in a movie theater. And then I constantly shoot music videos and commercials like all the time. So I get around the country a little bit.
Is this the first film festival this film has been in?
No, this is actually at the tail end of our festival thing. So we started last September or October showing, and we've pretty much shown all over the world. We've shown at the Lincoln Center in New York.
Really?
We've
Other
shown
countries?
in Iceland. We've shown in
did you go to
Spain.
Iceland?
I went to Iceland.
Oh, that's cool.
I got to go to Poland. I got to go to Barcelona. I got to go all over the world, really. I was lucky enough that a lot of these festivals actually...
How do you work that in with your other job? As to the one maybe that
You just
pays
do.
better?
Yeah, when I'm not working, I just leave. Like, I was just disappear. But we have cell phones, like, it's, you know, we live in a modern time where you can do it. If a festival says to me, I'll put you up, I go. Like, I will go. But yeah, we've played like a lot of really cool, amazing festivals, and I've gotten to go everywhere. So this is, I think, our 18th festival.
18th?
And we have 6 more that I know of in the next month and a half. And then I think we're pretty much, that's like the extent of its course.
So you've been living out of a suitcase a lot for the last year or so.
I mean, I like to travel. I shot in Nashville 3 weeks ago. I shot in Vancouver, 2 weeks before that. I got to go to Cannes and watch this film as part of that there. And I don't know. It's been sort of an amazing year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So are you thinking about doing another short?
No.
No, she's starting
You're gonna
Very
go-
hard. to get
there-
people to donate money to something that they know there's never going to even be a chance of a profit on.
So instead you want people to donate money where they think they might have a chance of getting
Yeah, I want to
money.
go make money for people. I mean, it's a business too. It's like I like to make art, but I want to make things, people can actually go see and,
Sure.
I want to show stuff to people.
How much does a feature-length film, any like bottom dollar, like the minimum feature-length film
To cost or
cost to make?
how much do you want to give me? I'm totally kidding. I mean, it can be any number. They make micro-budget films. We saw one last night here that probably cost $150,000, and we saw Dark Knight this weekend that cost $200 million. So I mean, anywhere in between. It just depends what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's true. But that was a fair answer. That was a legitimate answer. I'm looking at time in terms of our segment. Are we okay? So
Who watches this show? What is the civil discourse part of it mean?
Well, we usually have political and social discussions
Okay.
on,
Right.
and we like.
Mark is far left and I'm moderate.
So this film is not really a statement on either. There are definitely films here that are like activist
Yeah, I think
films
we got
and
one coming up.
documentaries.
Yeah, but this is a film
this
about
is,
sex. It's about sex interaction, men and women.
Yeah, it's about relationships and young people and how
And
they
I think a lot of people
behave
can
and-
identify with that. I think that would be important for the
I think that's why
popularity of the
people
movie.
love it. This intern here said to me last night, he pulled me aside, he said, I've seen your film 20 times because they showed at the orientations and stuff here, and he's like, I love it. He's like, every time I just enjoyed it so much, and I was like, really? 20 times?
20 times.
20 times. He's got better things to do.
Well, then people should go on to YouTube and pull it up by going to.
Your Film Festival, I think it's either YouTube / Your Film Festival or just Google Ridley Scott Your Film Festival.
Or Google
How do you
Bench
spell Ridley?
Ridley.
R-I-D-L-E.
I know enough about films to do that. I was trivia champion in my
Yeah.
college.
And we don't know. People voted, and the top 10 out of the 50 will play at the Venice Film Festival. And then if they decide who, they'll pick one, and they'll give them $500,000 to make a movie.
Well, Anna Mastro has been our guest today.
Thank you, guys.
Director, producer of Bench Seat. We're at the Indianapolis Film Festival. Thanks very much, and we'll be back in a few.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out.